Yay, if you are watching this video, that means that you finished your homework for today. Woohoo, go you! Alright, so that means you can move on to bigger and more challenging types of problems. Now this one is really not that crazy difficult. It seems like it is because you have two variables, but it's basically the same thing, just two problems put into one picture. That's really all it is. You still start off with your labeling. This is still the hypotenuse. You're still doing it based on this, so don't freak out just because there's two variables. This is still opposite. This is still adjacent. Now, the reason it's a little bit different is you got to take it in two steps because you have two variables. So if I'm going to focus on solving for x first, I'll do solve for x and just put a little column there. We'll solve for y over here in a little bit. But solving for x, obviously I'm going to have to include x, duh. I really don't want to put y in my equation because that's really not helpful. So I'm going to use the only other piece that they give me, which is the 26. So you're basically going to ignore the y and solve everything else. That's really how it works. So opposite hypotenuse, hopefully you already know from your practice on the other problems, that means it's going to be using sine. Still sine of 43 though. And now it's going to equal x over 26. Cool, now we have a problem just like we were working with before. Set it up over 1. Do your cross multiplying. Okay, nothing too crazy difficult for this one. X is by itself, and we have 26 times sine of 43. Plug it in your calculator, and if my calculations are correct, should get this when you estimate. Remember, we're cutting that off at 2 decimal places just to be a little bit more exact. Awesome, so we solved for x. Now you got to go about solving for y. You're going to do the same thing, only you're focusing on y this time. Hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent have not changed. They stay exactly the same as they were before. So now we're going to solve for y. If you need some extra space, feel free to grab another piece of paper because I know there's not a ton of space on this. I apologize for that. Obviously, we're going to have to include y. Probably don't want to use the side that has x. I know there's a number now, but that's really not a nice exact number. So let's use the hypotenuse again. Doesn't matter if you used it in the last example. It's okay to use it twice. But now you got to pay attention because now you have adjacent and you have hypotenuse. That's no longer sine, it's cosine. So cosine of 43 is now going to equal y over 26. All right, so pretty similar format, just a different trig function this time. And so we have y equals 26 times cosine 43. Plug it in your calculator. And you should get 19.02. Alright, so hopefully that explains those a little bit. Really all you're doing is setting up two problems in one picture. So you got to take it one problem at a time, focus on the x, then focus on the y, or vice versa. You have two other problems like this. So go ahead and work on those. If you want to watch this video again, you're going to work on this one, which is number 11, and this one, which is, oops, I guess I don't have that in there. Number 12 is right next to it. So do those problems. I do have a key up at the front, so raise your hand and let me know when you're done. Or if you're getting stuck from this example, maybe go back and just listen to it again. Hearing it a second time might help. Or ask somebody at your group or raise your hand for help.